best tonight for the Mississippi of North Carolina State.
Jen Hoover's Toyota starting lineup includes Spear and her teammate Christina Morra playing in her 101st game in a Wake Forest uniform for the senior from Toronto, Ontario, Canada. Wes Moore, the head coach in his 9th season at NC State. He's got one of the top scorers and rebounders in all of the ACC in Elisa Canane, over 13 points per game and almost 8 rebounds per game, and that is 6th best in the ACC. Ready to go from Reynolds Coliseum. NC State in the series, working on a 7-game winning streak, and they've won 4 in a row at home against Wake Forest in the black, NC State's in the white, and the Deacs will start with the basketball. Demon Deacons are coming off a win of their own on Sunday at home against Virginia, 68-53. That stopped a 9-game losing streak. Harrison dribbled into trouble. Spear late in the shot clock. Tried to get it back to Harrison, committed the offensive foul. Perez had the position.
And that's a part of NC State's game plan defensively. You know that Jules Spear likes to attack the rim. And right here, she crosses over. Raina Perez does a good job of stepping over, sliding over to the block, and taking that charge.
The Wolfpack starting the night 23-3. 14-1 in conference play, and they're on the board first. A drive and a scoop. Brown-Turner.
Kia Brown-Turner, you know she likes to go to her left. She's a lefty. You got to know the scout and personnel. Force her back to her right.
She averages just over 9 points per game. With a junior from Hudson Hill, Maryland. Knocked away. Canane almost came away with it, trying to get it away from Morra. Separate that basketball. Spears' pass was deflected. Wolfpack wants to run. Perez lets it fly. Foul on the play, crashing the glass. Becker came away with the rebound, and it's a foul on Turner.
And that's one of the things that Wake Forest does best, rebound the ball.
There's our forward keys to the game tonight, Tabitha.
And the other thing they do very well is attack the rim, especially in transition. Wes Moore knows that, wants his team to be prepared for transition buckets. For NC State, reduced miscues. That goes into the reducing of turnovers. Also stopping NC State from rebounding the ball in the offensive end, which leads to transition.
Perez on the run to the pack. Trying to work on the inside. Jones tries the other side with success.
NC State is going one-on-one in the paint, and they do so many things well, but right there, help side defense. The Wake Forest might need to come down and help out in the post.
Jones had a double-double in the win at Duke on Sunday. 10 points, 11 boards, and a turnover by Wake Forest.
Right here, NC State, Raina Perez finds Jones down low, just does the nice little spin to the middle. Gets the defender on her back, NC2.
We showed you that fourth quarter comeback by NC State against Duke as Perez drives, does not get the roll, and the ball goes out of bounds. Despite that miss against Duke, Tabitha, this NC State team shot 57% from the floor, and that was a season high.
I mean, it was insane to watch the composure. They did not panic. They stuck with it. They were methodical. Not for a second did I think that they weren't in control, even though they didn't have the lead.
They trailed by 6 points at halftime in that game. They only scored 6 in the second quarter. That's out of season low for NC State. Out of bounds, and that is off of the path.
Came a little fast-paced so far for both teams. Almost seems like the Deacons, or the Deacs, excuse me, need to kind of settle in.
Coach Hoover took this program to the NCAA tournament a season ago for just the second time. She was a player the first time they went in '88. They won a game at the tournament, thanks to Jen Hoover, who was Jenny Mitchell at the time. Bounces around and taken by Wake Forest. Becker.
Nia Becker, a player who's playing a lot better as of late. Kind of settled in, has been playing more poised.
Shooting struggles continue for the Deacons early on. They are 11th in the conference in shooting at 40%. That is Jones with the shake and move.
Nia Becker's going to need some help down low with Jones on the defensive end. Going straight up man defense. She's kind of getting bullied down there.
Wake Forest has missed all 4 of its shot attempts. Not anymore. Spear.
And you know who Julie Spear is. I mean, she fakes the handoff and uses the screen. They think that she hands it off, and she just shoots that 3 right in the face of the defender.
How about 77 threes made for Spear? That shot might have been altered by Morra. Spear wants to run on the miss.
Good defense there by Morra. She closed out well, and you're right, it was effective.
Morra on the block, into the double team, over the front rim and in.
And that's the player for Wake Forest. She's a key piece for them. She used to play a lot bigger than what she is, and she was actually bigger than what she is. Dropped the weight, hasn't been able to bully people like she used to in the paint. As Shakia Brown-Turner goes straight to the lane with the left hand on the right side.
4 points early for her, 3-point advantage. NC State. They won both of the meetings between the teams a season ago. This will be their only meeting during the regular season as Perez takes it away. Renane and Jones play catch. Turnaround is short for Becker.
They're just getting it to Jones every time down the floor, making sure they're getting her touches. You know NC State likes to play that inside-out game. Pass it inside, get it back out.
Spear. I mean, if she gets inside the free throw line, that's like a layup right there.
I mean, Jules Spear basically is saying right now she's going to have to take this on her back and get the scoring done for Wake Forest until somebody else comes along and helps out on the offensive end for them.
Right now she's got 5 of the 7 points, including a 3 for Spear. 3 for NC State. Crutchfield.
Such a patient 3-point shooter, a leader, really vocal leader for this NC State squad. Good to see her get going early on. But you know what's funny, Tom? As Harrison misses the pull-up jumper, no one, or at least there's only 2 players on this NC State team that average double figures. No one plays over 28 minutes a game.
They spread the wealth around. 3 from the other side into the corner and run down.
And you would think with only 2 players averaging double figures, they wouldn't lead the ACC. But if Jules Spear has any say, she's going to give North Carolina State everything she's got. Hits the 2 right there. Wake Forest down by 4.
It'll be senior day. They're going to host Syracuse. That'll be a sellout as well. You know, they renovated this building several years ago. Their first season back in here was 2016-2017. Since that point, this NC State women's basketball program has gone 84-11 against its opposition.
I mean, that's proof that if you build it, they will come. When you invest in your players and in the facilities, it'll attract that top-tier talent. Scouting this NC State team is All-American, All-American, All-American. They want to come somewhere like this and play on a court like this, in front of a crowd like this, for a coach like this.
And by the way, have you ever witnessed a team have more fun at a shoot-around than NC State did today? With the shooting games, the half-court shots, what have you. It was all fun 100% of the time. A little bit of seriousness.
Yeah, they brought the energy, and it was, you know, Wes Moore and his coaching staff brought the energy too, and they are the first ones to lead the way and lead by example, and their players follow suit.
Canane from Crutchfield.
I mean, and Canane scouting her. I put on other people, assist leader, rebounder, such and such. Canane, I just put everything. Does a bit of everything. She can pop out, hit that shot. She'll post you up like she just did, and she's a big that can move her feet.
10 of 13 points in the paint for NC State. Trying to work that offensive glass and miss from Williams. Another chance. The turnaround and a soft bounce for Morra.
Morra is going to be that other player. She's got 4 so far in this one, but you can tell she came in here ready to play. She wants this matchup, and she wants to go inside in the post on offense against Canane.
55% shooting in this first quarter for NC State. Perez finds Crutchfield. fight for the rebound. Becker. Missed from 3 for Williams. Chance inside. The layup's good. Scruggs with the hustle.
Scruggs is starting to get back into her normal rhythm. She had that concussion against Nebraska back in December. Hasn't been the same since, but now she's finding her way for Wake Forest in the offense, doing a bit of everything.
She had double digits in the win against Virginia on Sunday. 10 points for Scruggs. Coming off of that Jen Hoover bench. Shot clock's at 8. Johnson around Scruggs. Side rim.
Johnson, the other player from North Carolina State that averages double figures off the bench, has accepted that 6th-woman role as a braces.
The backdoor try for Scruggs, and it's picked off. Diamond Johnson up ahead. The veteran Crutchfield surveying the situation. Jada Boyd backing in trouble and travels.
Boyd had nowhere to go underneath the rim, but let's look at this matchup. See, Canane just goes off the pick and roll, and then you've got Scruggs who misses that one. Hines gets it back, misses the layup, but Morra, she wants this matchup. She goes straight at Canane. I thought she maybe should have pulled that one back because they had a new shot clock, and that's how I knew Morra wanted this matchup.
Just like Westmore told us, it's going to be a scrap, and it's a 1-point game late in this first quarter, and a foul coming up against the Wolfpack. It was a slow start for Wake Forest, 0 for 4 from the floor. They've hit 5 of their last 9 shots, and Crutchfield just picked up the foul for NC State.
But it was a slow start, but too fast-paced, in my opinion. They needed a chance to kind of settle in. Maybe a little excited going against the number 4 team in the nation. I will be too.
Deeks looking for their first lead of the game. Spear punched out of there by Canane and Johnson.
Spear has the follow-through on her jump shot that Sanaa Lathan had in Love and Basketball. You know, the one they said, leave it up there? I mean, she leaves it up there.
That pass deflected by Spear as Boyd was cutting to the rim.
And the Wake Forest bench is hype. I mean, getting a stop like that means you followed the game plan. You see Spear right now, she's out there talking, being a vocal leader, and that's partially because Olivia Samil is out tonight. She's their main vocal leader at the 4 spot.
She's got a thumb injury, so she's not available. Scruggs on the run, trying to get around Boyd. And Boyd, a stonewall defensive effort.
Scruggs does a good job of getting out in transition, but Boyd does an even better job defensively of going straight up. Doesn't even use the opposite arm as leverage, but goes straight up and blocks that.
Scruggs on the drive, right into Canane, hit the deck. And a foul upcoming.
Canane doesn't like that call, probably. Scruggs might have been a little out of control on this one, but Canane is moving her body and jumping into the offensive player, so yeah, that is a foul.
First on Canane, and now Scruggs at the free throw line and put the Deeks in front. First time tonight with exactly 1 minute to go in our first quarter. 62% from the stripe. Alexandria Scruggs, the junior from Fayetteville, North Carolina.
And Scruggs is a glue player for Wake Forest. She can play positions 1 through 4, and she's not even that tall. She's 5'10", and they'll have her playing the post as well. Just plays any position they need her to out there.
The Reds trying to shake the defender. Johnson is open. Off the mark. Here comes Boyd flying in, crashing the glass. Scruggs got a lot of ball, but some body as well.
I think she's okay with that, just because she wanted a little bit of revenge for the block that Boyd had on her. But the shot goes up by Johnson, and Boyd just comes from the other side of the floor and gets that rebound. This is a prime example of you need to put a body on somebody. You don't just turn around and go rebound the ball if you're the defender. You find your man and box them out.
First free throw of the night for NC State. Boyd's the junior from Petersburg, Virginia. Canane on the bench right now. Only attempted one field goal and made it. Boyd shoots 77% from the line. She's into the box score. NC State as a team, second best in the ACC from the line, 75%. Final 30 seconds on the game clock. Shot clock inside of 15. Scruggs tees up the 3-ball. Johnson able to grab it for the back.
Pure hustle right there by Diamond Johnson. She just comes in. She's the smallest player on the court and hustles and gets that ball.
Wake just 1 of 6 on 3-point attempts in this first quarter, and that make belongs to Spear. 5 seconds on the game clock.
Here, she broadcasts here, and the team loves her. Just so supportive. Was also a big-time player here. And that's cool when we get to broadcast for the teams that we actually played for on the same course that we bled and had some sweat and tears.
It's incredible. I cannot imagine playing on K-Yow Court. And Debbie had a lot to do with that as well, to get her legendary coach's name on this floor. What a wonderful tribute. And we congratulate Debbie Antonelli. Hobby from the paint.
I was here when they took on Georgia Tech last week in their pink game, and my goodness, I teared up just a little bit when they brought all the survivors out on the court. With the number of years and groups that they've been survivors, and Debbie Antonelli, she came from over here broadcasting in her all pink and did the entire halftime show and then got back in the booth and was able to pick up where she left off at.
Just so I don't get emotional right now, let me tell you a funny story about Debbie. She says she's the only player in ACC history to get a technical foul while on the bench sharing her opinion with the officials who didn't like it.
I guess she's in the right field, right?
She's
lots for a living.
Unbelievable. We saw over 30 years of broadcasting all levels of basketball. How about Hobby off the bench?
Mel Hobby, her dad, Cincinnati Bengals coach, on the staff, but you can tell that those athletic genes run in the family with that turnaround she just put up.
His father, Marion, the defensive line coach for the Bengals, who came so close to a Super Bowl title.
Almost did.
That was Hobby who poked that one away into the backcourt.
And look what she did. She got right back to her defender. Didn't even pay attention to the ball. Got right back to the rim.
Turnover. 7th in the game. Brown Turner with a defender on her hip, and Becker. And that's going to be a foul. Ashley Gloss was right on top of the call. That's Brandon Etterline, and they're joined by Timothy Bryant. That's our officiating crew this evening. First on Becker.
A handful of players, 4 out there other than Harrison, who have 1 foul apiece. With Camille not being able to play in this game and them not having a deep bench, Wake Forest, I'm not saying that needs to be on the radar, but fouls can become a problem.
Johnson missed. Boyd appeared to hang in the air for just a moment, but couldn't get her hands around that basketball.
What a good problem to have, right? She jumped too high, too quick. like Coach, I didn't get the rebound, not because I didn't put forth the effort, because I jumped too high and hung on too long.
Too much leaping ability. Spear has shooting ability, but not in this instance.
Excuse me, though.
I'm trying. Perez. Crafty dribble. Watch out for Hobby. Can she do it again? Well, she's going to earn some free throws.
I like this matchup with Amira Hines, Mel Hobby. And right here, she gets the ball on the inside, sizes up, and yes, she hooks right there with the left. And draws the foul on Amira Hines. But hey, if the ref doesn't see it, go aggressive to the rim, send Hines to the bench.
It's not a lie, if you believe it. Hobby's at the free throw line. Junior from Jacksonville, Florida.
But that goes to show you that the aggressor, the calls go to the aggressor. Like, that's not just the same. Players have to understand that when you're not at your best, you have to be aggressive. You have to go for the loose balls. You have to not necessarily act, but just be aggressive to the rim and attack.
Hobby is an 81% free throw shooter. She's got 6 points all in this quarter. From coming off of that NC State bench, and she's earned herself some playing time in this second frame. Morra Hobby is locked in right now, both ends of the floor.
Gets right back, and there goes tough side defense. And Boyd gets the block. That's excellent defense by NC State. Excellent help side defense and an excellent block. Way to stay straight up by Boyd.
Johnson. Carolina's now 12-1 at home with the upset win, 66-65, right before us.
I mean, things are getting interesting in February, going up into the ACC tournament. And Wake Forest is one of those teams that can make a bit of a push and do some things in the ACC tournament, but 0 of 5 from the field in the last few minutes. They've got to find some offense, especially with Olivia Camille. We mentioned she's got a thumb injury tonight, playing it safe, but they've got to find some more offense with her on the bench. Jules Spear can't carry the entire offensive load for the entire game.
Back to the latter stages of that first quarter. It's a 9-0 run for NC State. Wake has not hit a field goal since the 2:45 mark in the first quarter until that one by Scruggs.
Smart move by Scruggs. She just turns around and notices as defender is a couple feet off of her, knocks her down.
So the Pack started the game with a 6-0 run, started the second quarter with an 8-0 run. And Wake would stand it. Hobby will fall away with touch from Hobby.
I mean, she leaned away just a little bit on that shot, but it was perfect. She left the hand up and everything with the follow-through. But I love the way Hobby assesses the defense on her back and just takes the time as Scruggs goes into two defenders, tries to draw the foul, but draws a charge instead.
Second on Scruggs.
And Jen Hoover is upset about that. She's wanting some more explanation, but still trying to keep her team up and motivated.
Hobby has 8 points, all in this quarter, and that exceeds her season average of 5 per game. She wanted the ball. Boyd drives and finds a lane.
They're just so good, and they're so well balanced, Tom. We said it earlier, and I meant to expand on this point, how North Carolina State only has 2 players that average double figures, and one of them comes off the bench in Diamond Johnson. No one plays over 28 minutes a game. It's not because the 2 players averaging double figures are averaging out of this world. Kane is one of them, of course. But it's because you have mostly all the players. As Morra hits that jumper, it gets to go after it bounces around the rim for a while. But you've got several players, 8 to 9 players, who are all scoring 9, 8, 6 points here and there. They're spreading the wealth, so 1 or 2 players don't have to necessarily drop 30 every night.
Morra's got 6 points for Wake Forest. Johnson is that player who comes off the bench to average 11.5 points per game. Hobby misses in tight. First miss for Hobby in the game. Now 3 or 4 from the floor, 8 points. Becker stop and start. Boyd holds her ground. Reduces that angle for Becker, and here comes NC State.
And I think Becker even gave Boyd a little tap saying good defense on that one because they played well. Diamond Johnson doesn't get it to go, rolls around the rim, but gets her own rebound.
I'd be checking on that shot clock after Johnson got her own rebound back as Spear will re-enter the fray for Wake Forest. Scruggs to the bench. 5 points for Scruggs. Spear, who comes in, has 5. Morra leads the way with 6 in the first half for Wake Forest.
The most talking I've ever seen Jules Spear do. I said in the open, she's a lead by example type of player, not really the most vocal, but knows she's got to pick it up on that end of the floor with Camille out tonight.
First foul on Harrison, trying to defend Diamond Johnson, the sophomore from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania.
Diamond Johnson shooting the bonus.
Johnson at the line. Coming into the evening, 20 of 25 from the free throw line for Diamond Johnson. First year in the NC State program and a transfer from Rutgers.
She's a gritty player, grew up playing with the guys, obviously had to overcome the size difference. So she's just a spark for this team.
Overzealous defending on Spear by Johnson, and that's going to be a foul.
Good job on Jules Spear to read the screen and draw that foul. Didn't use the screen per se, just crossed over and took it back to do it. Emil Hobby is going to head to the bench.
Nice ovation for Hobby, who leads the way with 8 points, and they're all in this second quarter as she joined the lineup in this quarter. Maine back in for NC State.
NC State just takes turns spreading the wealth. So far this season, they've had 8 different players be the lead scorer. They just spread the wealth. They're so well balanced.
Williams missed it. Working that perimeter. Brown Turner. Too strong off the glass.
Another little hook there. Their hooks are so subtle as Crutchfield comes away and gets that one to stay in bounds with the steal.
That's 10 turnovers in the first half for Wake Forest, and it turns into 2 from Johnson.
Defense leads to offense. Transition for NC State, one of their best parts, but you can see Wake Forest, they got the ball right away, even on a make, and was out. But part of NC State's game plan was even on a make, you got to get back. You cannot relax with this Wake Forest team.
Largest lead of the evening as Morra drives and misses. Pack led by 1 after the first quarter. And now a foul behind the play. That's against Wake Forest and Williams.
And right here, Crutchfield comes up with the steal, manages to stay in bounds. And that leads to this offensive step by NC State. Diamond Johnson just waits for offensive setup. Spear gives her too much space. She knocks that one in.
The poise and composure from Johnson to wait for just the right moment to release that shot. Brown Turner at the free throw line.
The patience, with every level that you move up, you kind of have to adjust to the game and slow it down in your head. I was one of those players that didn't do that very well, so I'm always quick to point out when players are patient and they take their time and assess the defense, because that's the hardest part of this game, is slowing it down in your head.
Remember, Wake tied this game at 13 late in the first quarter. NC State's on an 18-4 run since that point. The arrow will favor Wake Forest on the tie-up. 18-4 run since we were tied at 13.
Wake Forest is going to have to start faking a pass to make a pass. They've gotten a bunch of their passes deflected. NC State has gotten a bunch of touches. They're reading the offense very well, so Wake Forest is going to have to do a bit more offensively.
Keep it at this end of the floor. Wake Forest had 4 players get to double digits in scoring in their win against Virginia on Sunday. Look at NC State. Hobby leading the way with 8.
Well balanced. At one point it was Jones who led the way, then it was Boyd who led the way, now it's Hobby. It's so well balanced.
Lead in the shot clock for Becker. Pack has won 4 in a row, 13 of their last 14, 26 in a row against unranked teams, and 2 more on the board, and 7 for Brown Turner.
It's so methodical. If you just watch this film and play it back, Tom, all you'll see is NC State rotate the ball, break down the defense, and then they take that ball and drive left with Jakia Brown Turner or Boyd on the wing.
Inside. Taylor Jones will get free throws.
And Jones and Diamond Johnson have a little bit of a smile as they come together. And Johnson knows that pass was a little bit too low for Jones, but Jones was able to corral it in through 2 defenders.
NC State 14-1 in ACC play.
Yeah. So my producer was just like, talk about the free throw motion. I was trying not to with the hitch.
Yeah.
But hey, she went 2 of 2. I'm not a fan of the hitch and the hesitation of the shot, but if it goes in, I'm sure Wes Moore and his coaching staff will take it.
Whatever works. 2 minutes to go in our second quarter. This was a one-point game after the first quarter and a lead for NC State. Spear calculating that angle on the run. Back the other way, Crutchfield.
Just gets it out the rim. They don't even wait on the defense to set up, and here we go, off to the races. Simon Johnson gets her own rebound as the smallest player on the floor, and she has got a smile on her face because she knew that was an athletic move.
Makes me think of Debbie Antonelli, who calls Canaan Big Smile. Might have Big Smile Jr. out there with Johnson. Wake keeps it alive. Harrison.
This Wake Forest team will not quit despite this Wolfpack environment and all the momentum in their favor. Jen Hooper is a heck of a coach, and her team is not going to stop competing at any point in this game.
Final minute of the quarter. Canaan high for the board. In traffic. Jones cleans it up.
They might have been fouled on that putback, but hey, Jones was right there, her teammate.
Long rebound. Harrison. Just 31% shooting in the first half. Wake Forest. Morra. Pretty move from Morra. Shoulder kick.
She wants that matchup with Canaan in the post. You can see it in Morra's face. She is dialed in, and she hasn't let any mistakes or anything that she hasn't done right effective. She's been dialed in this entire game.
Where has the time gone? There's 10 seconds left in the quarter.
I thought it was still like 7 minutes left in the second quarter.
Canaan trying to beat the clock. Wake trying to get a shot away. Crutchfield deflected it. When we get to Greensboro, watch out. Anything can happen.
It's going to be crazy, Tom. It's going to be crazy because that's nuts that Duke had the lead that it had over this NC State team, but lost to Virginia, who's last in the ACC right now. NC State's first in the ACC right now. That's a complete paradigm shift.
And you remember the comeback. Down 14 into the fourth quarter at home against Louisville, the victory for NC State this season as well. They've also beaten North Carolina twice and Duke twice. And NC State, the two-time defending champs at our tournament, and there's Canaan.
They were just resting her up in that first half so that she can come back in and take over in the second. Right here, sizes up her offense, likes to play in out, and just go straight at Morra and bullies Morra. Has a smile on her face. Doesn't complete the and one, though.
She's normally a very good free throw shooter, 84% and third in the ACC. Ball back to the pack.
Unforced turnover by Wake Forest. Jen Hoover's trying to keep her team in this one, and they want to get it back on the defensive end.
There's 39 points in the first half, the most for NC State in their last 9 games against an ACC opponent. It's Canaan lining up the three.
NC State talking to their coaches and their staff. They said we were lucky to have a 5 who can pop out and hit the 3. No, that's not luck. That's hard work. And you're very fortunate. Canaan can just pop out and knock down that 3 as Jules Spear puts up one. Doesn't get it to go.
Ninth made 3 of the season for Canaan, and shoots 38% from beyond the arc and 51% inside the arc. Kicks it back out. That's the 3, and it's good. Takia Brown-Turner.
Tom, the basketball that's on display by the Wolfpack is just basketball one-on-one. It's plays that you should run for anybody who wants to learn how to play the game of basketball, the passing inside and playing out. Drawing in the defense when they overcommit. If Nia Becker gets a deep 2 to go. But just pay attention to the offense from NC State, how they go inside and pop back out.
First points of the night for Becker. Brown-Turner cut off by the defending of Williams. They go outside. They get another 3. Taylor Jones, 11 points.
Tom, the last 3 plays, they've gotten it into Canaan. She's gotten the ball and she's popped it right back out to jump shooters, and they've hit their last 3 shots.
About 115 career-made threes for Taylor Jones, the graduate student. Drive and foul coming up against NC State.
And Canaan can do more than just score. She can get that ball. She can also assist as well. If I'm a guard with Canaan as my post drawing all the attention she draws, I'm going to get her the ball every time because I know it's coming right back to me. Jones and Shakia Boyd-Turner, or Brown-Turner, excuse me, are the recipients of the good passing by Canaan in the inside-out game by the Wolfpack.
Williams is at the free throw line. NC State also starting to heat up from beyond the arc on those last few trips down the court. They were just 1 of 8 in the first half, and they've made all 3 of their 3-point attempts in the second half with Williams at the line.
And has expanded this lead. I mean, this was a 14-point lead at the half. Now it's up to what? 22. And it was off those 3.
Don't make me do any math.
At 9
o'clock at night. I mean, come on.
I need to stop doing math before I mess up. Probably already did.
NC State not messing up from 3. Still perfect in the second half.
I mean, they're doing the basic things that you do in basketball, and it's just working out to perfection. That 4-out-1-in offense. Getting the ball into the post, they double on Canaan because you can't leave her by herself.
Second 3 of the game for Crutchfield. She's up to 161 career threes. That's 10th in school history. Wake Forest needed that 3 from Elise Williams.
That's the best way to cut into this deficit. It's beyond the 3 or and 1.
And you know it's a big game for Elise Williams. She's got 6 points now. The freshman is from Raleigh, North Carolina. Jones walked.
And right there, Elise Williams, you just talked her up. She was telling Kaya Harrison, hey, talk to me on that one. They were fortunate enough to force the Wolfpack into a turnover, but Elise Williams was saying, hey, let me know when my defender or when help is needed. You got to talk. Communication's big.
Morra around Canaan.
And Morra says, I want this matchup. Gives herself a little bit of a head nod, but gets the ball, sizes up the defense, and goes right at the chest of Canaan. Does a little half spin in and out. Raina Perez digs, but doesn't overcommit, but she leaves Morra one-on-one with Canaan.
Morra's got 11 points now. 8th time this season, double-digit scoring. Christina Morra, and that's above her season average of 8 per game. Crutchfield in the corner. Canaan the cutter. Score it.
You know she did not just help the person. She's bodied.
First, she let out some emotion, and then she helped her up.
Listen, don't help me up after this if you push me over. Canaan just takes on the smaller defender, Harrison. Harrison tries to take that charge, but it's still moving a little bit. Right call to make, but man, Harrison took one for the team on that.
So Canaan now has made 480 career free throws in her NC State career, and that's the most of any player in school history. She's attempted 601 free throws. Morra, everything but the finish for Morra.
Yeah, in and out for Morra. She wants that matchup. She is hungry.
Brown-Turner scoops it up and in off the square.
But right there, Morra needed to help on defense. The other offensive player got beaten. Morra saw that she got beaten, stayed with her man instead of helping out.
Scruggs, that's a 3.
Scruggs. A good passing by Canaan. When she wants to, she'll just take it in. And she'll help you up also when she scores like that at the same time. Canaan doing a bit of everything for the Wolfpack.
And she is our Hardy's star to watch. Into double digits for the 20th time this season. 92nd time in her career double-figure scoring. The first half, which included the second quarter, not so great. Did have the 7 boards, but 8 points already in this third quarter. And her team is 8 of 8 shooting.
They didn't really need her in the first half, but when you're not scoring, she only had 2 points. What do? You get on the defensive end, right? She had 7 points or 7 rebounds in that first half. Comes back, and we're less than 5 minutes into the third quarter, and she's already got 8 points. It's almost like the Wolfpack play preservation basketball because they can't. When you have that many players who can score at that high of a level, a legit 10 who could be a starting 5 on anybody's floor, anybody's team, you can afford to have a Canaan not score in that first half and only score 2 points and come back and have a dynamic third quarter.
Remember, it was Hobby who was big in that second quarter with 8 points. Canaan defending on Morra. Williams on the baseline for Wake.
And you can tell that Williams got that talk from the coaching staff at halftime. Hey, we need some more offensive output from you. You've got to come alive and help us out and cut into this lead.
We mentioned that the Pack hasn't missed a shot so far. Wake Forest is 5 of 8. Trying to hang in there. Inside of 5 minutes to go in our third quarter. Johnson. Quick out with a spear.
Almost gets that one caught up, manages to hang on to it for deep.
7 points per spear in the game. That's well below our season average of over 19 per contest, which is the best in the ACC, and Morra's shot came up short.
Took a hard fall on that. Probably wanted to draw the foul, but Canaan's defense didn't allow it.
Johnson tried to send it into Canaan.
Spreading the love was only 12.5% in that first half. Shooting from beyond the arc for the Wolfpack have come back and have been tremendous from beyond the arc in this third quarter.
6 of 14 in total after making just 1 3 in the first 20 minutes. And the lead is 61-39 with 4:24 to go in the third. So glad that you're with us. Tom Wormy along with Tabitha Turner-Wilkins, the former Georgia Tech star, here at Reynolds Coliseum with our outstanding ACC women's basketball production crew.
And Tom, both teams, speaking of threes, were not shooting very well in that first half. Wake Forest was only 14%. And we mentioned NC State was 12.5. Right now, Wake Forest is shooting 27.3%. And NC State, we already touched on it, but they're 42.9, almost 43% for the game. So both teams shooting better, but definitely NC State, the beneficiaries. Box score as Boyd hits yet another deep 2 from the wing.
5 points in the game for Boyd to match the jersey number. 4 minutes and change to go in the third. There's a 14-point halftime lead for NC State. Just a 1-point lead after the first 10 minutes. Morra is open with position in the layup.
Christina Morra.
The defense fell asleep for NC State. Good pass, good vision right there to find Morra open underneath.
13 points now for Morra. She's the only Demon Deacon in double digits and leads them in scoring. Brown Turner. Money ball.
I mean, this team just can do a bit of everything. You take away someone else and you double down or double wing or double post, somebody's open and they take advantage.
6 made threes in the quarter for NC State. That rims out. Here's Johnson. 3-on-2 break. Scruggs impeded the progress of Brown Turner.
And Tom, there's only one defender for Wake Forest, Morra, who rebounded down there. You want a chance at a team that pretty much does everything right, as Diamond Johnson nails a deep 3 for the Wolfpack. But if you want to cut into a lead, you got to rebound the ball first and foremost, so that they don't get out in transition and score.
How about 30 points in the quarter now for NC State? The driving Williams was fouled. 7 made threes in the quarter after the Johnson 3 ball.
They just turn it on when they want to, and that's why I said it's almost like they play preservation basketball. Canaan only had those 2 points in the first half. She's already got, 8 so far? 10. 8 in the quarter, but 10 so far for the game. They didn't really need her, but then you have these other players like Jakia Brown-Turner, who's got 15, who comes alive. Boyd has only got 5 in this game, but because she was so active in that first half with the rebounding, I thought she probably had more.
So we've told you on a couple of occasions tonight, their most recent game for NC State Sunday at Duke, they scored 31 points in the fourth quarter. That tied for the most in a quarter this season. They've got 30 right now. Johnson. They've got 33.
They just broke their own single quarter her scoring record. Thank you. I just dropped my purse over here. I got too excited and I got some help. But
back-to-back threes from Johnson, 8 of 9 from long distance for NC State. Stumbling down in a turnover, Andrews traveling.
And I think Wake Forest wanted a kick ball on that one. But again, this NC State team just too aggressive. And the calls are going to go their way. All the momentum's in their favor.
They've won 7 in a row at home as Johnson hits another one. This one near the free throw line and 13 points for Johnson. They've won 15 in a row at home against ACC opponents.
Diamond Johnson just looks like she's ready to have that half of her life where she just goes unconscious. Everything that she's hitting right now, or shooting up, she's hitting.
She scored 24 points in a game against Washington State earlier this season where she made 4 3-pointers. Hobby's back in there for the rebound.
They are all over Jewel Spear at the top. I mean, not allowing her to have anything, playing her really well, switching on screen.
Spear only has 7 points. That's Boyd on the entry. Bounces out to Andrews. Despite that miss, 61% shooting in the game for NC State. Now, they do lead the conference in field goal shooting, but that's at 46% for the entire season.
I mean, that's nuts that you can be that effective on the floor. And this Wake Forest team is no scrub. Like, they're no scrubs. Like, this is still an ACC team. These are still semi-professional players.
Johnson. Looked like a 2. Might have been just inside the line. Final 45 seconds.
Good help side defense there by Camille Hobby.
Scruggs in trouble. Spear again with just 7 points. Averages over 19 per game. Scruggs was on line, but too strong.
And again, only one black jersey, and that's Morra underneath for the rebound. Long shot, long rebound. You can't cut into the lead if you don't at least have 3 to 4 players down there fighting for the ball. And Wake Forest is historically a good offensive rebounding squad. Right there, knock down that 3, and then they get it back into Maine, tossed it right back out to the 3-point shooters. It is basketball one-on-one. Diamond Johnson went unconscious for a few minutes, but no one player did it by themselves. It was a team effort. It was efficient, and I call it playing preservation basketball.
After making just 1 3-pointer in the first half, and that breaks a school record with the 37 points in the third tonight against Wake Forest after they'd scored 31 in a winning effort at Duke on Sunday. That tied a season high. Tonight, the 37 in the third, that's a school record.
And to do it in back-to-back games.
Basket and foul for Spear.
And we were looking at Spear's numbers during the break. In my head, I said there's no way Spear is going to stay at 7 points. You definitely have to believe that the ball's going to be in her hands in the fourth quarter. Does a little behind the back. It goes through 2 defenders and gets the and 1. And that's why she's the leading scorer in the ACC.
She's got 10 points now with the free throw. Double-digit scoring 25 times. That means there's only 1 game where she didn't get to double digits. That was at Georgia Tech, when she scored 9 points.
Playing the #1 defense in the nation, yeah. I mean, that's a good game to be held to 9.2. If you're Spear, of course, that can't happen, or your squad, but that is the #1 defense in the country.
Up ahead, Scruggs, good hustle.
And that's the style of basketball Wake Forest likes to play. Gets the ball out of the net. Make or miss. Just looks up the floor and gets it out in transition.
10 points for Scruggs. Will stay at this end of the floor as it goes across the baseline. Scruggs for the 5th time this season, scoring in double digits for the junior. Well above her season average of 6.1 per game. Bobby. Against 2 Demon Deacons and a foul is called.
I mean, how frustrating when you have 2 of the same players going for the ball. Alyssa Andrews and Jamira Hines both had hands. on that rebound and kind of fumbled it around and gave it up, and Hobby just came in there and took it away. And look at where Scruggs is on the block right now, Tom. This player is 5'10". She's definitely undersized, but she's down there boxing out.
Right there, number 32. She'll inbound it. And now Hobby is 4 for 4 from the line at 12 points. Emil Hobby Jr. from Jacksonville, Florida. Perez. 2 players in pursuit. Scruggs grabs it. Spear steps behind the line. Over top of backboard and out of play.
And Spear wasn't completely ready. I saw it when it left her hand. She's got a bit of a smile on her face because she knows that one wasn't going to go, but kind of fumbled it around, tried to beat the defense and get that shot up, but didn't get herself set.
She's just 1 of 6 in 3-point shots. She's made 135 of them in her career, and she is a sophomore for this Wake team. She had the game-high 17 points in the win against Virginia to snap a 9-game losing streak on Sunday.
Mira Hines' defense has been excellent on Emil Hobby in the post.
Spear tried a difficult shot at one end. Hobby's wide open. Gathers. Batted around, and Scruggs will run it down.
And Hines and Hobby are kind of going back and forth, and I'm loving this post matchup. And another reason, Tom, why Jules Spear might only have 10 in this one is because Olivia Samil is a post player, as Spear draws the foul and takes it in. Her and Samil play off of each other. Those are the 2 best players for this Wake Forest team. And when Samil's not in the game and can only watch from the bench, the facial expression says it all. They can't believe the call.
And she's also coming off a 14-point performance in the win against Virginia. That tied her career high, but not available with the thumb injury.
But against Miami, Tom, I challenged, and we both had that game, I challenged Olivia Samil to be that next scorer for Wake Forest, and they're looking at Kaya Harrison, and if she's seeing double, some concussion protocol stuff right there, at least from what it looks like. But Jules Spear and Olivia Samil play so well off of each other. And when you get a player out like that out of the game, even though it's one player, that kind of throws your game off a little bit as far as the flow and the rhythm. So Jules Spears had to find rhythm, getting those passes from other players just not used to getting.
That's Hobby with an easy 2. 14 points.
Ball rotation is so good for NC State. They break down defenses so well.
Offensive foul against Wake.
Right here, there's going to be a wide open Hobby. The defense is drawn. The freshman, Alyssa Andrews, gets there too late. And that's easy too.
Big ovation. Boyd leaving the game for NC State.
7 rebounds for Boyd. I almost thought she had double digits in this game because she was so active in that first half. And second.
Spear. Wake Forest team won 10 of its first 11 games this season. Been a struggle since, though. 13 and 12 overall on the year and 3 and 11 in conference play.
They are making it hard for Spear to score, but Alyssa Andrews, she's got anything to say about it. She's going to knock down that three. She's over.
Just her 6th made 3 of the season and her first points of a night. 80-52, 6 minutes and change in the fourth. Wolfpack still shooting 54% after a season high 57% on Sunday. The driving move from Hayes and choose foul.
Listen, I love Hines' game because she's saying, listen, I was late on my rotation, but if I'm in this game, I'm going to use these fouls. And right there, that was a hard foul on Hines, or Hayes, excuse me, and that was her fourth. Hines has been playing her heart out defensively in this game, and it showed.
Now 14 of 20 from the line for Madison Hayes this season, sophomore from Chattanooga, Tennessee. Of course, Coach Morra spent 15 years with the program in Chattanooga in the Southern Conference. Fight for the rebound. James got back to it.
That's 2 offensive rebounds by NC State.
Timmons.
The effort has to be there. On that first offensive rebound, it was 4 black jerseys and 2 white ones. You got to come down with that rebound if you're Wake Forest. As Elise Williams takes that one straight into the rack. And Jules Spear gets in for the steal and puts it up. Doesn't get it to go. And NC State is off to the other end.
With Perez. Bobby sends it right back out. Right back in and right back out. Timmons.
I mean, their second 5 can legit be a starting 5 on anybody's roster in the ACC. You lose nothing.
Timmons, the freshman from Charlotte, North Carolina. On a steal and the drive. Jessica Timmons, a quick 4 points.
I'm going to ask Coach Moore if the crowd plays any kind of part when NC State goes on these runs, and he answered, oh yeah, absolutely. They fire our girls up, and this crowd has been on their feet for every score tonight, and Timmons' bucket really got them fired up with 6 minutes left in this one.
84 points scored in the game by NC State, including Tabitha.
It's going to be an exciting tournament, to say the least. I mean, look at Georgia Tech and Notre Dame right there, number 4 and 5. But, of course, that first 4 teams you want to double by, the first 8 you get a single by, and that's why it's coming down to the nitty-gritty. But we've had a couple upsets here today. That Virginia-Duke game, 67-54. Duke having a hard time as of late. Virginia getting their first ACC win of the season, and the big-time upset with UNC and Louisville. UNC getting that dub by just 1 point. Making things a little bit easier for NC State when it comes time to tournament time.
Virginia Tech with another big win as well, and Kenny Brooks and the Hokies have now won 5 in a row and 6 of their last 7. Putting up some big numbers against the Orange, which will be the opposition on Sunday in this building for Senior Day for NC State.
Another sold-out crowd that they're expecting. Tonight was another sold-out crowd as well. But they draw big crowds here. I mean, we were talking to Wes Moore earlier, and he was telling us that he's heard stories of some of their tickets getting scalped, being on SeatGeek, being purchased and resold for higher prices. I mean, you got a great program when that's happening, right?
Getting tickets to the sold-out events. That's kicked by NC State. So they've got 85 points, 4:03 to go in this quarter. Their high against an ACC opponent this season is 89. That came against Pitt when they hit 15 threes. That's a season high. Tonight they've made 9 threes on 19 chances.
And again, this is a team that, NC State team, they don't play anyone more than 28, just over 28 minutes a game. So they're very well balanced. Freshman can't handle that pass, gets it back.
Foul on the play. Sophie Hart, hard work inside for NC State, which, by the way, has not made a 3 in this quarter. Not that they really needed it, Tabitha, but we told you they made 9. They made 1 in the first half, 8 in the third quarter, and they posted 85 points.
But Tom, they turned it on when they want to, didn't they? They didn't have to knock down all those threes in the first half because they had some pretty well-rounded scoring, some balanced scoring. Camille Hobby came in there, did some good things in that second, and kind of bust that lead open. And then to begin the third, you had the ignition of the three-point shooting from NC State, so they kind of just turned it on when they felt like it. It seemed that way.
So Hart gets her first point of the game. It's going to be Becker going to the Wake Forest bench. Deeks made it interesting in the first 10 minutes. It was just a 1-point lead, 14-13 for NC State. They were just getting warmed up. Williams.
And Williams giving a look at the ref and thinks she should have been fouled on that one as well. But is kind of offering up some late offense, trying to cut into this lead for the Deeks.
Williams has 14 points, 4 players double digits for Wake Forest. Hard offensive glass. 6'5" freshman over the top.
Some good minutes for Hart. Hasn't seen the court since February 3rd against FSU.
Genesis Bryant tried to drive and score. Most points that Wake has allowed all season. Bryant this time. Nancy's got it.
I mean, this place is loud. Everybody's on their feet. This game has been going back and forth. NC State finally gets something to go in. But this crowd is on their feet with just 2.5 minutes left to play.
Most points that NC State has scored against an ACC opponent this season. 3-pointer for Andrews. He's got 6.
That was a pretty three. I mean, it barely touched the net. I think it whispered as it went through.
Andrews has a couple of threes on 2 chances from the 3-point airspace.
They're defending the paint.
James the miss, Wake with the basketball. Based on this performance and their position at the top of the standings, as we head to Greensboro, Tabitha, you've seen all of the weapons on display by this NC State team. Clearly, as the 2-time defending champs, you would think at this moment they might be favored as we head to Greensboro.
They're definitely favored. I mean, I think you hit it right on the head, but you see why. Again, I'm going back to that preservation basketball. It's almost like in that first half, they knew they needed to conserve some energy, and they know they had the numbers for it. And, you know, no disrespect to Wake Forest, but they kind of played around with the defense early on in this game, and when they felt like it, in that third quarter, they just bust the lead wide open. And it was methodical.
Led by 14 at halftime. Scored 37 points in the third quarter. Shot clock's at 2. Just grazing the rim for Bryant. Officials say it's Wake Forest basketball.
And Reagan Conley, Morales, and Tamira Hines should be lucky that they got a break on that one, because that rebound came down right in between them, and NC State almost came up with it.
Final minute here in the fourth. Wolfpack well on its way to its 24th win of the season. So they've won the ACC tournament 2 years in a row. They've been to 3 straight Sweet 16s. Setting up, building momentum. One more home opponent in Syracuse. And then one more game on the road at Virginia Tech. They'll have a week off between Syracuse and Virginia Tech, which has also started to heat up now with its win tonight against Syracuse. This is really setting something up for the stretch run of the ACC.
Oh, you know, Virginia Tech just crept in that top 25 in the past week. We've heard about how they've been getting snubbed week after week after week. Finally cracked at number 3 in the ACC right now. But, I mean, getting back to NC State, they look like they are the favorites headed into the tournament. Like they're going to get a number 1 seed in the NCAA tournament after that.
They were number 1 seed last year for the first time in school history in the NCAA tournament.
I mean, and they just look really good. They look good and well balanced.
They lost to Indiana last year in the Sweet 16, but defeated Indiana this year during the regular season. In fact, they're 6-3 against ranked teams this year. They started the season with South Carolina.
And that, you know, good point, Tom. They set their schedule. Wes Moore set this schedule up to where they played 7 Power 5 opponents. Their first game of the season was against South Carolina. It was a loss. And this is a team that only has 3 losses on the season, but 7 power